Hello, friends. I'm in Franklin, Tennessee. Left the family to do their own thing today. I'm meeting a friend over here in Franklin. I've never been here before. I hear it's a cool place. I know there's a lot of music industry stuff going on here, a lot of musicians and such, so I hear. So here we are. I don't know what I'm going to show you today. I don't even know what we're going to get into. All I know is I'm going to meet my friend for a beer and hang out for a little while. A lot of cool old buildings here. First stop is the Hop House. This is my friend Philip. He showed me around Franklin today. The graveyard. Is this a cemetery or a graveyard? Is there a church nearby? Anyway, we're looking around some interesting graves. What is interesting about this place?
I always think it's interesting when I see these things where these people on their markers were born before our country was in existence. They were born before 1776. And then they died an American citizen.
Yeah, to think about that is pretty special. To be somebody that was not an American citizen when they were born, live on this soil, and then become an American citizen because the country just was founded is pretty cool.
Yeah, and then when the news, did they know it was an American?
Yeah,
how far did it take before?
Yeah, this is cool. So let's go try to find some of these. I see 2 hidden Mickeys already.
11 months and 2 days.
1865. 1816. The Rest Haven Cemetery, right across the street, has some really old graves, but we're here at the City Cemetery. Let me show you the sign. There's a lot of crumbling graves here. Whatever. Even though you can tell these graves are obviously crumbling apart over time, the cemetery is very well taken care of. It's been mowed, weed eating happening all around, and it looks as if everything has been well respected, but just weather probably in this area and time, of course, has taken their toll of many of these grave sites. Major Robert Carter, 1770 to 1839. Born before the United States was the United States, died before the Civil War.
Third Avenue, that's where our office is one of the most haunted streets in the world.
You don't say. 2 of the oldest grave sites in the cemetery. 1758. Margaret was born 1762 for Judge Thomas Stewart. Both died before the Civil War and alive before we became a country. Always makes me wonder, what the heck was it like to live at that time? Now, this is a nice cemetery. These grave sites are well taken care of. They were very large at the time. This is a very populated area. What was life like It's just a cool thought. And before we were a country, these were the real pioneers, the people that didn't know anything about what we have today. This is really, really interesting. We're on to location number 2. What's it called?
Carton Plantation.
Carton Plantation. One of the only Confederate cemeteries anywhere, right?
Probably, yeah.
We came here to see the graves, although you can take a tour. You can see this plantation house. This is on a plantation. This is a very peaceful piece of land here. The McGavock family burial sites are right here behind me. It's the back side of the cemetery. This is a really interesting story about the cemetery. The family, the McGavock family, was buried in that area, and right here in front of it is many of the slaves that worked on their plantation for decades and decades. See, the McGavocks were interesting. What Mr. McGavock did was exhumed bodies from this battlefield of the young men that fought in the Civil War and reburied them. See, they only had wooden markers with their names on them, and they were starting to deteriorate. So he had all the bodies exhumed, and right back here, they lay to rest. It's now the largest Confederate cemetery in the United States. Each of these tall markers you see out here on the sides represent how many from each state were lost in the war, or lost in the battle. Here. History states that, as best she could, Mrs. McGavock recorded all of the information from the soldiers, anything that was left, any information that was available. She made sure that that was recorded and left here so we could remember those that have gone before us. That is so cool. They have it right on here. They have these cool placards. You can scan the code there and learn some history about this battlefield. Right by the cemetery. Mr. and Mrs. John and Carrie McGavock right there. A really nice walking path here by the cemetery with some information on these placards. I learned that this battle, Franklin, was one of the most bloodiest battles of the Civil War. Take a look at these stats. D-Day, what we think of as the worst disaster that ever happened in the United States. And this battle took nearly double the amount of men from our country. The plantation house over there became a hospital for the Confederate soldiers through that battle, probably for a good time after, too. Philip was just mentioning how there's a lot of rock around here. We've seen a lot of limestone in the area. We all know moonshine takes limestone. There's a lot of that. For a family to dig up that many bodies, like 1,500 bodies, dig new holes, that is a lot of work. It's incredible. Well, it's a hot day out, and we said Puckett. Literally, we're at Puckett's. So you need to block your face out there. It's a restaurant. Philip, thanks for hanging out today.
Enjoyed it.
It's been a great day. Thanks for showing me around Franklin, these very cool cemeteries. It was really cool.
Come visit.
Yeah, I'll have to spend some more time here. Friends, Franklin is a cool town. We didn't get to see very much of it today, or limited time, but it's a cool little place. So definitely would like to come back and hang out some more. Well, good seeing you, man.
Good to see you too.
Thanks for joining my friend Philip and I for a visit to the final resting place of some of the earliest pioneers, settlers, and heroes of Franklin, Tennessee. I love this little town, and I can't wait to come back and explore some more. Friends, if you like what you're seeing, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. What you see behind us here is the McGavock family part of the cemetery. It's where, well, the family was all buried.